Hey guys, what's poppin'? I'm Caden, and today we're talking about the chemistry of chocolate chip cookies.
Oh! Waiting for cookies.
If I could say time.
Me so hungry for cookie.
Chocolate chip cookies, the classic snack that Western society has enjoyed since 1938. But have you ever wondered what goes into making these addictive treats? Neither have I. But Mrs. Gill forced me to do this presentation, so here I am. There are a few basic ingredients that go into making a chocolate chip cookie. The first is butter. Butter is an essential part of making cookies. It's like the fat of the cookies. It doesn't allow gluten to form. Gluten, which has the chemical formula C24H27N509, is a protein commonly found in bread. It's sort of a binding agent that holds everything together, which is great if you're making bread, but with cookies, we want like a tender, chewy cookie that kind of falls apart in your mouth, not a firm, dry loaf. That's where the butter comes in. The fat in the butter doesn't allow gluten to form, leading to a soft cookie. Butter also adds a chewy, nutty flavor to your cookies. I prefer to melt my butter when I make cookies, as it leads to a nice dense texture. However, you can also cream the butter with a hand beater, leading to more of a fluffier cookie. Now, the next key ingredient is eggs. Now, eggs have two parts that can either make or break a cookie. So the first part is the white, which is the gooey, slimy, clear stuff that you find in the egg. And then the second part is the yolk, which is like the yellow ball in the middle. Now, the white, it helps trap or hold in air or water, which becomes vapor during baking, and it leads to a rise in the cookie. The yolks, on the other hand, help provide structure to the cookies as well as giving them a chewy, dense texture. So if you want chewier cookies, you add more egg yolks. And the yolks also provide moisture and fat, and both the white and the yolks are sources of liquid in the cookies. Another crucial part of cookies is sugar. Sugar provides the sweetness in cookies, which is one of the main reasons they're so addictingly good. Sugar releases this thing called dopamine in our brain, the pleasure drug. In a study done by Princeton University, it was found that people who had dopamine released in their brains by sugar also had more of an added want for sugar in the future. That's why it's smart not to eat too many cookies, or else you could become addicted to sugar as the same way that people are addicted to drugs or to alcohol, one researcher at the National Institute for Drug Abuse found. That, and if you eat too many cookies, you could develop a disease like
Diabetes.
Cookies can use two different types of sugar, white or brown sugar. The type of sugar used can drastically impact how the cookies turn out. Brown sugar contains molasses, which is acidic, meaning you can use a base, such as baking soda, as a leavener. That means you get more of like a fluffy cookie. Whereas with white sugar, it doesn't contain any acids, which means you can't use something like baking soda as a leavener. So this means that with brown sugar, it's more of a fluffy cookie, whereas with white sugar, it's more of a solid, crisp cookie. You can also use brown sugar to give a nutty, caramelly taste to cookies, which I just love. The next ingredient is flour. So, like sugar, there are two different types of flour that you can use in making your cookies. You can use either bread flour or cake flour. Now, it may not seem like a big difference, but actually, it can make all the difference in the world on how your cookies turn out. Bread flour is, of course, like its namesake, used for breads, and therefore it's made where gluten is a good thing. So, it kind of like encourages gluten to form, which leads to more like a chewy cookie. Cake flour, on the other hand, is used in cakes, where gluten is a bad thing, so it doesn't like when gluten forms. That means that when you use cake flour, it's not a chewy cookie, but rather it's more of a tender cookie. Flour is also a critical component in the structure of a cookie. So the more flour, the more dense it is and more like of a doughy texture, which most people really like. Now, another thing every cookie needs is a leavener. Now, there are two different leaveners that are usually used in cookies: baking soda, NaCO3, and baking powder, NaHCO3. With baking soda, the cookies need an acid to activate it, or else it just stays stagnant in the cookie and it tastes like metallic dirt. It's disgusting. Baking powder, on the other hand, doesn't need an acid to activate. It already has an acid inside it, which is stagnant in powdered state, but when you add liquid to it, it becomes activated. Both of these leaveners help the cookies to rise, or else they'll be flat as a disc. And, of course, the last thing any chocolate chip cookie needs is, well, of course, chocolate chips. Now, most of you are probably used to having your cookies with just regular old chocolate chips. After all, that is what I'm serving you today. But apparently, if you cut chocolate, if you chop it up, it adds more flavor and texture. Now, I could do a whole presentation on like the chemistry of chocolate or anything, but someone already did that.
Jules.
I don't know who came up with the idea to chop chocolate instead of using chocolate chips, but whoever they were one smart cookie. I'm the worst. Now, there are some other minor ingredients that are used in chocolate chip cookies, like salt or vanilla, but they aren't really important for us. They just add or bring out flavor. When they're put in the oven, the balls of dough undergo a transformation. First of all, the moisture in the cookie heats up, leading to steam, which creates air pockets and lets the cookie rise. It creates a fluffy cookie. Then some of the solid parts, like the butter, melt, causing the spread of the cookie. The leavener is activated by the liquids, which causes the cookie to rise, and also creates pockets inside the cookie, leading to the fluffy, holy cookie we've kind of grown accustomed to. Temperature also matters. The higher the temperature, the more the sugar crystallizes. Again, it's up to your preference. The cookie entered the oven as just balls of dough. They exit. Beautiful, yummy cookies. At this point, the cookies aren't actually finished cooking when you pull them out of the oven. They're still internal cooking. So, if you like undercooked cookies, which everyone does, you eat them right away. That's fine. But if you don't, then you let them sit and finish cooking. Now, I know what you're all probably thinking. Man, I'm so hungry for some chocolate chip cookies right now. Don't worry, I got you covered.
What's he gonna do? What's gonna happen?
I brought you guys some chocolate chip cookies. Enjoy.
There it is! Look at that ear-to-ear smile. He knows what he's done.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.